You are listening to EPT 100 Days, a podcast I developed for you to easily access targeted forgiveness and affirmation statements. I'm Sherry Hamilton, holistic emotional therapist at EPT Works Huntsville. EPT is short for Emotional Polarity Technique, an innovative, holistic emotional therapy that will change your life for good. "100 Days of EPT, Day 56. I deeply and completely accept myself." Think and speak aloud, "I deeply and completely accept myself." This statement and agreement in your body, mind, and spirit will hold conflict to forward momentum on creating good in your life. Somewhere in everyone's life, there is an experience of rejection. It can happen in many different ways, from mild to extreme. You filed those rejection memories away in your inner world and move forward with your life. This mini EPT session will realign you with self-acceptance. Realize that as you are saying these statements, thoughts and memories arise to your conscious mind. Because you are bringing them up to the surface, you are resolving them and releasing them as you change your mental perspective through the use of forgiveness. While thinking, "I deeply and completely accept myself," place one hand over your heart and one hand over your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Repeat, taking 2 more deep breaths in and out. Remove your hand from your forehead. Hold one hand over your heart with your thumb under one collarbone and your 4 fingers under the other collarbone. Gently rub spots below collarbones while speaking the following statements. Take a deep breath in and out after you speak aloud each statement. I forgive myself for what I have done toward myself or another to reject deeply and completely accepting myself. I forgive myself for believing I can never deeply and completely accept myself. I forgive others for making me believe I deserve to be rejected. I forgive others for injuring me to make me a reject. I give others permission to forgive me for choosing to forgive them and myself for my justified hurt, so I can experience deep and complete acceptance of myself. I give others permission to forgive me for changing my mind about who they thought I was, so I can deeply and completely accept myself. I forgive myself for every time I hurt someone I loved as a reflection of my own feelings of rejection. I forgive myself for believing people I love hate me. I forgive myself for believing I must be perfect before I can deeply and completely accept myself. I forgive myself for believing criticism is good for me and brings me closer to self-acceptance. I forgive myself for believing I must remain in rejection of myself to maintain a relationship with my loved ones. I forgive myself for believing this self-rejection can never change into deep and complete acceptance of myself. I forgive myself for believing someone else must change before I can deeply and completely accept myself. I forgive myself for holding on to a life that doesn't exist for me, the life I had before I felt rejected and injured. I forgive myself for holding on to the way I hoped it would be. I forgive myself for resisting the way life is now. I accept the hurt and rejection I have suffered. I accept the resistance I feel to maintain rejection and suffering. I increase my level of acceptance to my resistance I can feel and the resistance I can't feel for deeply and completely accepting myself. I increase my level of acceptance to my life the way it is, and I decide to accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I have been hurt and rejected, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have lived in self-rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have blamed others for my rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have lost things I can never recover, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have failed to overcome this hurt in my past, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have used this hurt and rejection to fail at many things, I deeply and completely accept myself now. Even though I am not perfect, I am now responsible to do my best for those I love. I say yes to this hurt and injury, and I call it up and release it to divine love and gratitude. I say yes to my shame, guilt, and humiliation, and I call it up and release it from my mind, body, and spirit. I say yes to my deep and complete acceptance of myself. I forgive myself for believing there was something I did to cause this to happen to me. I forgive myself for believing there was something I could have done to prevent this from happening to me. I forgive myself for blaming myself for what happened, and I deeply and completely accept myself. I give myself permission to feel safe and at peace, deeply and completely accepting myself. I give myself permission to feel encouraged and happy when good things show up in my life. I choose to let go of old pain and to love myself more deeply and completely. I choose to deeply and completely accept myself in truth. Without this pattern, I am free to deeply and completely accept myself. Without this pattern, I am free to love all of myself and all of my life experience. Without this pattern, I am free to feel joy, happiness, and connection to myself and others. Without this pattern, I am free to be safe, deeply and completely accepting myself. I am free to be loved deeply and completely accepting myself. I am free to be healed deeply and completely accepting myself. I am free to be at peace deeply and completely accepting myself. Without this old pattern of personal rejection, I am free to give more love to others and myself with deep and complete acceptance. I am free to accept my life the way it is and deeply and completely accept myself. I am free to encourage myself in new endeavors. I'm free to create a more fulfilling life with deep and complete self-acceptance. I'm free to feel worthy and safe in a love relationship. I'm free to increase grace towards myself and others as I deeply and completely accept myself. May you be blessed today with a thankful heart to experience your life and your connection to others with safety and belonging. May you know that you matter. May you show up in peace, trust, and friendships that last a lifetime. May you see, know, and act on good with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength.